Math League tomorrow.
No.
Do not forget.
They always schedule a math league on the 9:30 days.
You should have given up.
Like, I don't have to come in tomorrow until 9:30.
Why?
Because I have late arrival. It's day 4, and so we don't have to come until 9:30. So that's why I started at 7.
Can you
So I'm not gonna come in 2 hours early.
back it up to like 8:40ish?
Well, sure I could, because all the rest of the kids in the school are in class.
You should make it on the day where, like, it's a regular day.
Honey, have you ever looked at a Math League paper? It has dates on it. I don't get to pick the dates.
You should.
You guys.
You're the head of the math department. You're the
Okay,
pie to
you
the-
guys. The misconception is that Math League is something Cathedral invented and only Cathedral does it. This is a statewide competition, and last year, by the way, we did win our region. Yay, Cathedral.
There we go.
But it is a competition. I have to send in our top scores, and we're competing against Rebuff and North Central and Hamilton Southeastern and everybody. So it isn't something I can just do whenever I want to do. It's a contest. No.
We're gonna end this class. Don't take the final.
You are right.
Let's go, baby.
So that should be your goal. Let's get an A in the class. All right. So here's what we're doing today. Put your, please put your practice tests away that I gave you. Everybody's got one. Just put those away. We are now on our note sheets. Page 32, back side. Problem number 3. We're going to find the sine of pi over 6. Okay, this is big time. I need everybody paying attention. Right? So, here we go. Phil, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now, we're going to do this without a calculator. So the first thing, we're going to go back to something we talked about right at the beginning, and that is, this is a radian measure. That's pi over 6 radians. We do not do very well with radians yet, so let's change it to degrees. Do you remember how to change that into degrees? Pi is 180. We know pi is 180. We memorized that. There's a lot to memorize in trigonometry. But in a way, that's good. You just have to memorize it. So pi is 180. So what's pi divided by 6? 30. So what we are asked to find is the sine of 30 degrees. Now, here's how I want you to draw this. We're going to draw 30 degrees. And we're going to draw it starting right here. Always, 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 right where my pen is. Everybody look, I'm not moving my pen. This is where it starts. We're going to go up 30 degrees. That is a 30-degree angle. Everybody's going to draw it that way. It's called standard position, and it's the way it's done. Now, I want you to drop a perpendicular straight down to the x-axis. So you have created a triangle. And it isn't just any random triangle, Ethan. It is a special triangle. That's a 30, that's a 90, this is a 60. And you memorized that across from the 30, that side would be a 1. Across from the 60 would be a √3, and the hypotenuse is 2. You memorized that. So now, when I say let's find the sine, you remember SOHCAHTOA, right? So opposite over hypotenuse, you're looking right here at this 30. So opposite over hypotenuse would be 1/2. And you did it. You found the sine of 30 degrees without using your calculator.
Is 2 always the hypotenuse?
In a 30, 60, 90, yes. All right, let's try the next one. Tangent pi over 4. All right, let's repeat the process exactly. So what's the first thing we need to do? We need to change it to degrees. So we know pi is 180. Anybody know what 180 divided by 4 is? 45, very good. So we're gonna find the tangent, next column over, Mason. Next, it's on the bottom right. The tangent of 45. Okay? Alright, so we're gonna draw 45 degrees, and we're gonna do it just like we did before. We're gonna start right here and go 45 degrees. There it is. There's a 45-degree angle. Who remembers what I did next after I drew my 30? What did I do, Paul? Draw up that perpendicular straight down so you have a triangle. We need to have a triangle. Now again, this is not some random generic triangle. This is special. That's a 45, this is a 45, and there's your 90. So you know the sides, right? What are the sides? 1, root 2. And now you can answer the question, what's tangent? Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So opposite over adjacent would be 1 over 1, which is 1. So the tangent of 45 degrees, or the tangent of pi over 4, is 1. Secant, pi over 3, that's the next one. Okay, here we go. How do we start? Alex, what do we do first? What? The first thing I want to do is change it into degrees. So that I know what to draw. So pi is 180, Marissa. Pi is 180. Divided by 3 is 60. So we're going to find the secant of 60 degrees. Now, Alex, I'm going to draw. I'm going to start right here like I always do, and I'm going to go about 60 degrees. Right there it is. There's my 60-degree angle. Mazzy, what happens next once I get that 60 drawn? Drop the perpendicular straight down. And now I have another special situation. I have a 60, a 90, and a 30. And I remember that across from the 30 is 1, across from the 60 is root 3, and across from the across from the 90, the hypotenuse is 2. Right now I want the secant. Okay, now I gotta think about this for a minute. SOHCAHTOA. What do I know about the secant? Secant, opposite, reciprocal of cosine. Reciprocal of cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So secant will be hypotenuse over adjacent. So hypotenuse over adjacent would be 2 over 1 or 2. Got it? You okay with that? All right, what's next? Cotangent pi over 6. All right, so Caroline, what do I do first? I take 180 divided by 6. That's how I start. So 180 divided by 6 would be 30. So now I'm going to draw my 30, and when I draw it, I start here, right? So here comes my 30. Now what? Drop the perpendicular straight down, that's right. So now you've got your 30, 60, 90, right? When you do this, kids, you're always going to get either a 30, 60, 90 or a 45, 45, 90. Anything else we'll need a calculator for. So I'll label my sides. Cotangent. What's cotangent? Adjacent over opposite. Adjacent over opposite. So the answer is root 3 over 1, which is just root 3. Everybody feel okay about that? Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, a couple more. Good, good, good. We have the cosecant of pi over 4. Is it an emergency? If it's not an emergency, no. If you're going to pee your pants, then yes. Cosecant pi over 4. Here we go. We only have about 20 minutes left anyway. Cosecant pi over 4. So how do we start? Miss Kimmel.
Change it to degrees, so
Yep.
180 divided by 4, which is 45.
So we're going to find the cosecant of 45 degrees. So, Desiree, I'm going to draw 45 degrees. Here it is. And then what do I do? Finish drawing the triangle. Drop my perpendicular straight in. Paul Wedge, what are the sides of this triangle?
1, 1, root 2.
Exactly, 1, 1, radical 2, perfect, perfect, perfect. It's a 45, 45, 90. Finn, what's cosecant? No, no cos go together. So cosecant would be the reciprocal of sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so cosecant will be hypotenuse over opposite, which is just root 2. Would you try that last one on your own, please? Cosine pi over 3. See if you can get it. Cosine pi over 3. Phil, go ahead. Pencil to paper. Let's see how we do. Well, we're all doing it, Mason. You too. We're doing cosine pi over 3. Okay, you have it done?
Yeah.
Luke, you have it done? No, cosine pi over 3, the next one now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we're all doing it right now. Lucas, how big was your angle for that one? 60? So you drew a 60-degree angle, Lucas, and made a triangle? What'd you put over here? Root 3, very good. So Tag, what did you say the answer was? 1/2. If you said 1/2, you are right. Anybody not get 1/2 and need to ask why? Tony, what are you doing, my man?
I got it.
Okay.
I got 1/2.
I'm excited. Good for you. All right, we okay with that? Because now the next section, we're going to type it in on our calculators. So, who brought graphing calculators? Really, any calculator, but particularly graphing calculators today. Good, good, good. Let's get those out. We are going to press some buttons. Now, the first thing, kids, is this. Some of the problems are in degrees. Look at the problems. Some of them are in degrees, like A is a degree. See how it says degrees? But B is in radians, and they move over and switch around. So here's how I want to start. I want to start by going through and just putting a little check mark or a circle or something by all the ones that are degrees. We're going to do them first. So which problems are degree problems? A, C, E, F, I, and J. So we are going to do those problems first. So I'm going to go to mode on my calculator, go to mode, and make sure degree is highlighted because we are going to do all of the degree problems. So we're going to go to mode and make sure degree is highlighted. If it is not, move, arrow over and get it highlighted. Okay? Now, look at problem A. Problem A, we're going to type in secant 10. What's the problem? What's the problem with typing in secant 10? There's no secant button. When you type in secant 10, you have no choice. You'll divide 1, or you'll type in 1 divided by cosine 10. And why do I do that? Because secant is the reciprocal of the cosine. So type 1 divided by cosine 10, 1.015 is what you should get. If you aren't typing this on a calculator, please sit by somebody who is. That's the answer that you should have come up with. Did everybody get that?
You always use cosine when it says secant?
Yes,
Okay.
because secant is the reciprocal of the cosine. So reciprocal means 1 over. So that's what we do. All right, now the next one, we're doing C. We're in lock. We have a tangent button, so I'm going to press tangent. But now I have to put in degrees and minutes. We talked about that a few days ago. I type 28, and then I need my degree symbol. So I go to second apps, which is your angle button, and see the degree mark. We just press enter, right? Remember doing this the other day?
Yep.
And then I need 11, and I go back to second apps and go down to the minute mark and pick it up. And for that one, number 2, or C, for C, you should get 0.5358.
I had 28.
You got 28.1.
Okay, let's start over again. You don't forget you're doing a tangent, so make sure you press tangent first. You got to press tangent first, and then you put in your 28 degrees and your 11 minutes.
What were we supposed to do?
5358. I got 0.5358. So we have to make sure that we're putting in the function too. All right. Everybody get it now? Phil, you get it now? Luke, you get it? Okay. So now we're ready for E. Now E is a cotangent. I don't have a cotangent button. So 1 divided by tangent. That's exactly right. Ted, this is what I'm going to type in. 1 divided by tangent, 13 degrees, 19 minutes. So I start with 1 divided by tangent. Those are the first buttons I press. 1 divided by tangent. Now I put in my 1319. So 13, 19. Did you get 4.2248?
I did 225. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't give you any directions about rounding. Yeah. You all getting this? Finn, you got it? Front row over here, you guys getting it? All right. So now we're ready for F. Oh my gosh. Now F, I have a sign button, so that part's easy. I can press sign. I know how to put in the 127 degrees. I know how to put in the 18 minutes. What in the world do I do with that 13 seconds? Do you remember? Alpha plus. So we hit 13, and then our green button, our alpha button, and the plus sign. And you should get for that one 0.7954. What is that? F, problem F, 0.7954. Everybody good? Now we're skipping all the way down to I. It's a cotangent. 1 divided by. 1 divided by what? Tangent. No, cotangent is the reciprocal of the tangent. So I have to type in 1 divided by tangent. Type in 1 divided by the reciprocal function. So 1 divided by tangent. Oh, I got a negative 2.515. Did you? That's okay. Sometimes these are negative, not a problem. Alex, you getting these? Okay. You just telling me that, or you really getting them? Okay. All right, and then J. Let's finish up the degree ones. J is tangent 300. I got another negative. Negative 1.7113. Looped it around. Did you get that?
I did.
Okay, good. All right, so we're all set on the degree ones. Okay, now we're going to do the rest of the problems, but they're in radians. So go to mode and make sure radians is highlighted. You have to be in whatever mode it is that you're inputting the angles. So if you're inputting degrees, then you got to be in degrees. If you're inputting radians, typing in radians, then you got to be in radians, which is what's happening in letter B. It's the cosine, so I'm going to press cosine, and then I need pi divided by 9. You have a pi button on your calculator. It's above your exponent button. It's right over there underneath the clear button is your pi. So you press second pi divided by 9. Did you get 0.9397? Actually, no, because we're doing it in radians, so we got to leave the pi in there. If you changed it, if you put in 180 and changed it to degrees, had your calculator in degree mode, then okay, type. Did you change your calculator to radians? Okay, Phil.
I'm sorry.
Ew.
I changed it.
Okay, now when you type it in, you should get the right answer. So you go to mode, go to mode, highlight radians, type in cosine pi over 9. Right now we're going to D. Problem D. Uh-oh, it's a cosecant. Uh-oh. How do I type in a cosecant? 1 over sine, that's right. So 1 over sine, 5 pi over 16. Now, when you type this in, I want you to type it exactly the way Mrs. Ford wrote it. Don't put in any additional parentheses. So you'll type 1 divided by sine, 5 pi divided by 16 close parentheses.
B.
1.2027. That's exactly right. That was D. Letter D.
Where did we go?
Right here.
Okay, DC.
All right, now I'm going to letter G. It is a secant. So what will I type in? I don't have a secant button. What am I typing in?
Cosine.
Not cosine, 1 over cosine. 18 pi divided by 23. So 1 divided by cosine, 18 pi over 23. Did you get negative 1.2891? And then there's one more, letter H. Now notice there's no pi in there. That's okay. You just type 1 divided by sine 2. One divided by sine 2. What did you get? 1.0998?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, those of you without a calculator are going to be in trouble if we have a calculator quiz, right? Which we might, because you need to know how to press these buttons. So if you haven't gotten in the habit yet of bringing a calculator, please start doing that so you know how to use it. Yeah.
For G, I'm getting negative 1.289. Oh, it's not. Okay, sorry. I thought it was positive.
Okay? All right, we got 2 more problems to do today, and then we'll be done, all right? So those 2 problems are 5A and B.
We have 11
We're at 11:05. I wish we could stay longer. All right, so here we go. Number 5A is the opposite of what we were doing a little while ago. I am telling you what the cosine is. Remember that picture we drew? It always ended up looking like that. I am telling you that the cosine is 1/2. That's what it says. So adjacent over hypotenuse is 1 over 2. The other side then would be the square root of 3 because that's one of our special triangles. And your job is to tell me how big this angle is right here. That angle is 60 degrees. You're working it backwards. Instead of starting with the angle and drawing the picture, you're starting with the sides and drawing the picture. Okay? All right, let's look at B. B says we got the same thing going on. Stop it. What the hell's the matter with you? Now, there's our picture. The sine is root 3 over 2. So where do I put those numbers? I gotta remember what sine is. What's sine? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Oh, root 2 over 2. I'm sorry. Now, this is very tricky. Instead of thinking that as root 2 over 2, would it be the same thing to think of it as 1 over root 2? Are those the same thing? If I think of it that way, then the numbers look like this, which are more normal for you. So someone up here said it's a 45, 45, 90, and he was right. It is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So the answer to the question is 45 degrees. 45 degrees. That didn't take very long. We're going to finish this section. Turn it over. Let's get these last two done. Don't you hate it when I lie to you? Oh, there are 4, but you know what? I promise, just 2. Secant or cosecant theta is 2 and tangent equals 1. We're going to do these 2 problems. All right, I'll put my paper down. Won't look anymore, that's it. Okay, now the cosecant is 2 over 1. All right, now wait a minute. Cosecant, I got to draw my triangle and label the sides. Okay, so cosecant is 2 over 1. Hypotenuse over opposite is 2 over 1. Now, how did Ted know that? Because he remembered that cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. So this side would be the root 3 side. How big is that angle? Pay attention now. That angle is 30. You are exactly right. The answer is 30 degrees. Because we know that across from the 30 is the 1. All right, Ethan, come on now. We're almost done. One more. Tangent is 1. So I'm going to label the sides of my triangle, and if the tangent's going to be 1, then that's like 1 over 1. That's a 45 degree angle, so the answer to the question is, the angle theta is 45 degrees. Alright, so what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow we will finish that section and begin the next section.
Quiz, right?
No, you get your quiz back, and you don't re-quiz until the next time. Okay? So I don't know what day that will be, but I put it in Power School already, I think. Did you turn this off, or did it turn off by itself?
I didn't turn it off.